Hello, fellow knitters. It's Janet with BDD Thank you so much for stopping by today. In this video, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to knit a one-piece, comfy, cozy cardigan. Let's go. I'm going to demonstrate this pattern in a size small, and that will fit up to a 36-inch full bust. All right, let's go over what we need in order to make the caramel cardigan. The needles that I used are 9mm or US number 13. And if you like circular needles, go ahead and grab those. I don't like circular needles, so I have a pair of 16-inch 9mm straight needles. A gauge swatch ruler, a measuring tape, absolute must. If you want some knitting stitch markers, needle stitch markers, you can grab those. I think this is easy enough that you really don't need them, but some people like them. A pair of scissors, sharp scissors. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've been here before, you know that these are my absolute favorite scissors. They're on a necklace, so I never lose them. Bent yarn needle, this is my favorite. I've had these for years, and this wooden case is why I've had them for years. I never lose them. A yarn needle threader, amazing little tool, makes your life so much easier. And finally, 3 skeins of Bernay Forever fleece, and this color is bergamot, or I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's a beautiful color. It's a caramel color, and I absolutely love this yarn. It's super soft. So let's get into it. All right, let's go over the stitches that we need to knit this cardigan. They're very easy. I'm just going to cast on 14 to demonstrate. So 1, 2, and this is just a simple cast on. Later, when I give you the pattern particulars, I'll tell you exactly how to cast on, but we're gonna just cast on my fast way, which I have a link in the description below to the fast cast on. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. All right, so the first, let me explain. This is, you're not going to see this in the screen because it's way too long. It's 48 inches. But this pattern is done by crocheting one piece, which is a big rectangle. All right. And then we integrate the borders, which the top and the bottom make up the hemline and the neckline when they're sewn together. And then the sides represent the border of the sleeves. So, and I have a construction schematic that I'll show you, later on. All right, so what we're doing here is, I'm not going to do the whole 1.5 inches, but you're just simply going to knit all stitches, and that is a garter stitch. And this creates, like I said, when you're starting out, it's either the bottom or the neck. It doesn't really matter, because when they're sewn together, there's no top or bottom. Basically, it's however you want to put it on, because it's a rectangle. There's no shaping involved in this, guys, none whatsoever. It's really super simple. So all you're going to do is start out with, for this gauge swatch, start out with the first row is just knit. So just do that. And really, you should make the gauge swatch with me, so you'll get used to all the stitches. If you know all the stitches, then you can skip ahead to the pattern, but it's really important to also get the proper gauge. All right, there's one tip, though, that I want to tell you that I always do, and that is I knit into the back loop. See, normally I'd go like this. No, we're going to knit into the back loop of the last stitch, and we're always going to do that for this entire pattern. Okay, so the next row we're doing the garter stitch, and that's just continuous knitting. So we're going to keep on knitting, and for this I'm going to do 3 rows. So I'll meet back when I've got 3 rows of my garter stitch on. Okay, again, this is just going to be, we'll just say we're starting at the bottom of the piece, so this would be the hemline. All right, we've got 3 rows of our garter stitch, and we're going to put more in the pattern, but that's yet to come. Okay, so now we are going to knit a border, and in the pattern it's 5, but right here I'm just going to do 3 because I want this to look proportional, because this is kind of a mini if you will. Okay, so just, we're knitting a border, we're just going to knit 3 here. Now, even though we're still knitting all stitches all the way across, this will be the first row of our body, and that is where we start the stockinette stitch. But I wanted to talk about those first couple of stitches, because that in the next row you'll see is a very important. And again, don't forget, always knit into the back of that last stitch. Row, this is going to be your wrong side. So we are going to knit into the first 3. Always, we always knit the border. And then we're going to purl into the next however many stitches, and since I'm counting right now, it's too hard for me to calculate, but I'll give you the calculation here in a second. But you can also do it visually, and I'll show you that. So just purl until you're at the last 3 stitches. So that would be 8 purls, and then knit the last 3 stitches. And this is where, if you want, you can put a stitch marker in between here and here. In other words, marking your border stitches. I don't think it's necessary, because every other row is, you know, where you'd need to see that. But since one row is entirely of knit stitches, because we're now knitting the stockinette stitch, it naturally will form that border. So we're just going to knit the stockinette stitch, and I'm sorry if I'm having trouble saying that today. I'm a little tongue-tied for some bizarre reason. Normally doesn't happen to me. Okay. So again, the stockinette stitch is just 1 row of knit and then 1 row of purl. And then the right side is always the side that is knitted. Goodness sakes. Back loop, knit. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more of these. I'm going to start this other row and show you this so that we can do it together. Now, do you see how that border is forming? Let's do 1 more row together so that we can see it. Okay, so we're on the wrong side, and that means that we are going to knit our first 3, purl the next 8, or the stitches in between the border. Okay, one more purl. Okay, and then knit the last 3 stitches, and knit always in the back loop of the last stitch. Okay, now you can see what's happening here. Okay, this is going to be the body, and these are actually going to be the sleeves, and then this is the bottom, and when we get to the top, that'll be the neckline. Okay, in order to stay on track, what you should do is you should knit these 2 rows in order. In other words, the right side is the knit across all stitches row, and then the wrong side is knit 3, purl 8, knit 3. And you should continue to do that until you get to about here, and then give yourself this much so that when you lay the gauge swatch down, you get an accurate measurement to make sure that you're on gauge. And that all I want you to do is keep knitting those 2 rows until we get to here. And then once we get to here, we'll add the 3 rows of the garter stitch, which will give us plenty to measure, and we don't have to worry about blocking it. Okay, so I've ended on the right side, and I can see with my gauge swatch that I'm just almost right there. So now I'm going to be working on the wrong side, but I'm just going to simply go ahead and knit those 3 rows of garter stitch so that we can complete our gauge swatch. And you can do the same, and we'll meet back when you're done. Okay, so here is our gauge swatch, and according to this skein, the swatch is 10 stitches by 12 rows, and I can confirm that that is correct. Now I want to take just a second here and talk about something. If you can't meet the gauge, only after you've done a gauge swatch. Don't say that you can or cannot meet the gauge without doing a gauge swatch. But if you're like me, you are a loose knitter, all right? There are tight knitters, there are loose knitters, there are knitters that can achieve the same gauge as the skein. I always double check because I know myself and I know that I am a loose knitter. So knowing that, it's okay. What do I do to solve the problem? I do it with a size down needle. But again, you know yourself. Just check yourself before you wreck yourself and do that gauge swatch. Now let's get ready to do the pattern. All right, there's one more stitch that we have to add to our gauge swatch, and that is the knit bind off stitch. Super, super easy. Just knit one first, knit the second one. Now you need to pass over this first stitch over the second stitch. And yes, it can be a little tricky. The first one is always the trickiest one. There we go. Okay, we just bound off one, knit the next one, pass the first one over the second, and that's how we bind off. And on this pattern, we want to bind off on the right side. Let's do it a couple more times together. And don't bind off too tightly, just relax, because if you bind off too tightly, your stitches will pull and your top will be puckery, and nobody wants that. All right, I think you've got it. And that's the last stitch. I want to add one more thing to the bind off process. For those that are new, you just need to pull your yarn tail through, and whatever the pattern tells you that you're working on, if you need to leave a tail when you fasten off, just measure out that tail. Otherwise, you just pull it through and you're done. To begin, please lead with a 14-inch tail and do a fast cast on of 120 stitches. Now you want to garter stitch until your piece reaches 1.5 inches from the cast on row. Always knit the last stitch in the back loop. Continue with the following pattern. Knit the first 5 and last 5 stitches. In between those stitches, knit the stockinette stitch until your piece reaches 26.5 inches from the cast on row. Remember to always knit the last stitch in the back loop of every row. When your piece reaches 26.5 inches, end on the right side. Then garter stitch until the piece reaches 28 inches from the cast on row. End on the wrong side. Now you just bind off with a knit stitch, leaving a 14-inch tail for sewing one of the side seams. Fasten off. All right, we are ready to put our cardigan together. So with the right sides together, fold in half as shown here. On each edge, measure 6 inches down from the fold and mark with stitch markers or safety pins. Now, with each tail, sew a seam up to the marker. Secure with 2 stitches in the last stitch. Fasten off, weave your tails, turn right side out, and enjoy. You did it. Congratulations.